Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Monday, February 2nd, 2026, and I have to be honest with you, my head is still spinning a little bit from this past week.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
The NBA calendar calls it AWS NBA Rivals Week, and, usually that's just a marketing slogan.
Yeah, just a way to sell ads.
But this time, it actually felt like the league shifted on its axis.
It really did. Typically, early February is the dog days of the NBA season. Players are tired, teams are coasting into the break. But what we just watched was the complete opposite. We saw history being made, records getting absolutely smashed in New York, and the kind of hierarchy shuffling that usually doesn't happen until the playoffs.
That is exactly why we're here today. We have a massive stack of game reports, the updated ladders for MVP and rookies, and some medical updates that are frankly a little scary.
Right.
Now, I know what everyone's Twitter feed looks like right now. The All-Star reserves were announced yesterday, February 1st.
Of course.
Everyone is screaming about snubs and who got left off the list.
Which is the annual tradition, the Outrage Olympics.
Exactly. But we are going to do something different on this deep dive. We're going to ignore the popularity contest.
Right.
We aren't here to debate who deserves a roster spot based on fan voting or media narratives. We are focusing strictly on the hard data and the game results from this past week.
I like that.
We're talking about what actually happened on the hardwood, because while the accolades are nice, the game tape tells us who is actually ready to win a championship.
I love that approach.
Yeah.
The All-Star game is an exhibition. It's fun. But the wins, the losses, and the injuries we saw this week, that is the forecast for the rest of the season.
So let's unpack this. We have to start in New York City. The Knicks, the Nets, the Battle of the Boroughs. Usually you expect this to be a grit and grind game, maybe a buzzer beater if we're lucky. But the Knicks, I don't even know what verb to use here. They didn't just beat the Nets.
They dismantled them. It was an annihilation. The final margin was 54 points.
54 points. I had to triple check the box score because that looks like a typo.
It does. But let's put that number in perspective for a second, because I think we get numb to high scores in the modern NBA.
Right.
In a professional league where every player is in the top 0.01% of athletes on earth, winning by 20 is a blowout. Winning by 30 is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Winning by 54, that is an existential crisis for the losing team. The Knicks set a franchise record with that margin, erasing their previous best of 48 points.
And it wasn't just a late run, right? I saw they were up by nearly 60 at one point.
Oh, not even close.
Right.
They led by as many as 59 points. Think about the psychology of that. You're a Brooklyn Net player, you look up at the scoreboard in the third quarter, and you are down by double your own score. It's just demoralizing.
Yeah.
And what makes this interesting is that this wasn't a fluke. This marked the Knicks' 13th straight win against the Nets.
13 in a row. That's not a rivalry anymore. That's ownership.
Exactly. It's a statement. A 54-point win in a rivalry game isn't just about adding a WB into the column. It sends a message to the entire Atlantic Division that the gap between the Knicks and their local competition isn't just wide, it's an ocean.
So the Knicks are operating as this perfect machine right now. But on the flip side, we saw some individual performances this week that were just chaotic brilliance.
Oh, yeah.
We have to talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
HGA, what a week.
He drops 47 points against the Indiana Pacers. 47. He was hitting everything.
Everything.
And here's the kicker. The Pacers won the game, 117-114.
And this brings up one of my favorite debates in basketball analysis, the empty calories versus the heroic loss.
Okay, so which one was this?
I lean toward heroic loss. Shai's masterclass was necessary. The fact that he had to score 47 just to keep them within 3 points tells you everything you need to know about the load he's carrying.
Right.
The Pacers withstood the barrage because they played a better team game, but Shai proved again that he is an offensive engine that very few defenses can solve.
It's tough when you do everything right individually and still walk off with an L. Contrast that with Joel Embiid on Thursday night. He records a triple-double.
See, that's the difference. A triple-double, double digits in points, rebounds, and assists. That implies total control of the game's flow, not just the scoring column. Embiid's efficiency is just off the charts this season. He's not forcing shots. He's manipulating the defense.
And speaking of not forcing shots, we have to talk about the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant. I feel like we take him for granted because he's been doing this for so long. The Rockets had lost 5 games in a row. They were sliding, desperate for a win.
Right.
Durant steps up against the Pistons and drops 32 points. But look at the shooting line.
11 of 19 for the field.
That is absurdly clean.
It is. And that's what happens when you have a player whose game relies on skill rather than just pure athleticism. As Durant ages, he just gets sharper.
Yeah.
He snapped that Rockets losing streak almost single-handedly, and in the process, he climbed to number 11 on the all-time three-pointers made list.
We are literally watching a living legend climb the history books in real time.
We are, and it's funny you mention history because this week also marked the 20th anniversary of Kobe Bryant's 81-point game.
The 81-point game, I can't believe it's been 20 years.
It's incredible. There was some great coverage this week featuring former Raptors coach Sam Mitchell, who, poor guy, was on the sideline for that game.
Oh, man.
Breaking down what sparked that masterpiece is a great reminder of the heritage of this league. We get excited about Shai scoring 47, and we should, but then you remember Kobe hit 81.
It really puts the scoring boom of today into perspective. 81 is still the mountaintop for the modern era.
It is, and it reminds us that there are levels to dominance.
Speaking of levels, let's pivot to the ladders, because if we are looking for midseason shifts, the MVP and rookie rankings are looking very different this week.
Very different.
Let's start with the MVP race. There is a name in the top 5 now that hurt. Well, if you told me this 2 years ago, I would have said you were too optimistic. Tyrese Maxey.
Maxey has, to quote the official report, sprinted into the top 5 of the Kia MVP ladder. And sprinted is the perfect word for him.
Top 5 is serious territory. That's usually reserved for the Jokics, the Giannis's, the Lukas. I mean, is Maxey really that guy now?
The data says yes, and the league recognizes it. He's listed among the 2026 All-Star Game starters. But what's interesting is the evolution.
Right.
Maxey started his career as a spark plug, right? A fast guy who could score. Now, he's a legitimate superstar. He's closing games. He's making the right reads. He has taken the Philadelphia 76ers and elevated them to a terrifying level.
It's the leap from star to superstar. But if the MVP ladder is a shuffle, the rookie ladder is a full-blown revolution.
Yeah.
For months, it felt like Cooper Flagg was the anointed one. Everyone just assumed, okay, Flagg is the rookie of the year. Let's move on.
Not anymore. There's a new number 1, Con Whipple of the Charlotte Hornets.
Con Whipple. I love the name, and I love what's happening in Charlotte. The report describes the Hornets as having a hive full of young talent.
I see what they did there.
Pun fully intended, I'm sure. But why the switch? Why new Whipple over Flagg right now?
It comes down to winning impact. It is very easy for a rookie to put up numbers on a bad team. We call those empty stats.
Yeah.
But the Hornets are actually thriving behind Newpel. He's playing with the poise of a veteran. The experts are looking at this and saying, this kid isn't just scoring, he's driving the bus.
All right.
Overtaking a presumptive favorite like Flagg in February is a massive deal.
Yeah.
It suggests this race is going to go down to the wire.
So we have historic blowouts, we have new faces in the MVP race, and a battle for Rookie of the Year. It all sounds great, but we have to talk about the other side of the coin, the physical toll.
Yeah, the concern list.
Getting too long, isn't it?
Way too long. This week was brutal for injuries, and some of these could legitimately alter the playoff landscape. We have to start with Phoenix. Devin Booker.
I saw the clip. He stepped on Onyeka Okongwu's foot against the Hawks.
He did. It was that classic nasty ankle turn where the foot goes 90 degrees. He had to be helped off in the third quarter.
Ooh.
Now, ankles are tricky. Sometimes it looks terrible and you're back in 3 days. Sometimes it's a high ankle sprain and you're out for 6 weeks. For a Suns team that relies entirely on their offensive rhythm, seeing Booker limping off sends shivers down the spine of the fan base.
And it wasn't just Phoenix. Golden State took a hit that sounds even more complicated. Jonathan Kuminga.
Right. She exited with an injury described as ankle knee.
The combo platter.
Yeah.
You never want to hear knee involved.
No. Coach Steve Kerr mentioned an MRI was scheduled immediately. And you have to remember, Kuminga isn't the young kid anymore. He's a fifth-year veteran.
Right.
He is crucial to their rotation, providing that athleticism and defense. And this hurts even more because of the context with Golden State. We got the update that they are moving forward without Jimmy Butler III.
Right, Jimmy Buckets. Losing your second leading scorer who is averaging 20 points a game, that is a massive hole to fill.
It changes the geometry of their offense.
Yeah.
You can't just plug in a bench player and expect to replace Jimmy Butler's 20 points and his grit.
Right.
So you look at the Western Conference now. Phoenix is holding its breath. Golden State is limping. But then you look at Los Angeles.
The Clippers.
The Clippers are the inverse story here. Kawhi Leonard returned this week.
The Claw. He was out for 3 games.
3 games. He comes back, drops 24 points immediately.
Sure.
But look at the trend line. The Clippers are on a 13-3 hot streak.
13-3 is championship-level basketball.
It is, and it's largely credited to Kawhi, who is averaging 28.2 points. This raises such a critical point about the NBA season.
Yeah.
It's not just about who has the best roster on paper in October. It's about who is healthy in February and March.
Exactly.
While the Suns and Warriors are scrambling to patch holes, the Clippers are getting healthy and eating up. That divergence could decide the playoff seeding.
It's wild how quickly the narrative flips. One week you're a contender, the next you're waiting on MRI results. But before we wrap up, I want to step away from the stats and injuries for a moment.
Okay.
There were some really cool moments this week regarding league news and honors, specifically a moment of nostalgia in Chicago.
Oh, the Derrick Rose retirement?
The Bulls retiring the #1 jersey at the United Center.
That is going to be, or was, an incredibly emotional night. You have to remember, Derrick Rose was the youngest MVP in league history. He was a force of nature before the injuries.
They're one of the biggest what-ifs in sports history, isn't it?
It is. But seeing his jersey in the rafters is a way of honoring what he did accomplish, rather than mourning what he didn't. It's a moment of respect from the franchise and the city.
And we also had some Hall of Fame news, specifically focused on the LGBTQ Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes, referee Bill Kennedy and former player Jason Collins were named as inductees. Jason Collins also received the Glenn Burke Award.
For listeners who might not know the history, why is this significant?
Because for decades, men's professional sports was a very closed-off environment regarding sexuality. Jason Collins was the first active player in one of the 4 major U.S. sports to come out publicly.
Right.
Bill Kennedy's been a top-tier official for years. Honoring them is about recognizing that they changed the culture of the game.
Yeah.
They made the league more inclusive. That matters just as much as the box scores.
Absolutely. Culture matters. And finally, just a quick shout out to the only thing that can actually stop an NBA game. It's not a lockdown defender. It's the weather.
Mother Nature remains undefeated.
The Wizards-Hornets game had to be rescheduled due to severe winter storms in the Northeast.
It's just a funny reminder of the logistics involved here. We see these guys on TV and think they just teleport to the arena.
Right.
But when a massive winter storm hits the Northeast, even the NBA has to pause.
So let's try to summarize this whirlwind of a week. We have the Knicks winning by historic margins, 54 points, signaling a shift in the East. We have Tyrese Maxey crashing the MVP party and becoming a true superstar. We have a new rookie favorite in Connie Whipple. And in the West, the injury bug is biting the Suns and Warriors while the Clippers are surging.
It's a pivotal moment. If you are a fan, you need to stop looking at the standings from 2 weeks ago, because the reality on the ground has changed.
So here is a provocative thought to leave you with today. We're seeing the Knicks win by 50+. We're seeing rookies like Newball lead teams that are described as a hive of talent.
Yeah.
Are we watching a season where the gap between the true contenders and the developing teams is wider than ever? Or is the talent level in the league just so high across the board that anyone, even a good team, can get blown out if they don't bring their A game?
That is the big question. Is this dominance, or is it just extreme parity? And practically speaking, keep a very close eye on those injury reports for Booker and Kuminga. As the playoff race tightens, those medical updates might matter more than the game results.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Stay curious.